What if I told you a single missing signature on your aircraft maintenance logbook could cost you months of waiting for your license? Stay with me, because for the next 15 minutes of this video, I'm gonna show you the step-by-step method that assessors want you to write your logbooks. So your logbook is more than just a book, it is your passport to getting your license. Think about the dream, signing off aircraft, earning that respect, and also advancing in your career. So how to make entries on your logbook? I'm going to state the obvious here. Now there are simple guidelines that is common for all logbooks in EASA member states. That is, your entries should be in permanent ink. You can't type them, you can't use pencils, it needs to be in permanent ink. Though it have not specifically mentioned what color of pens should you use, I would highly recommend black, because black color on a formal document looks more official. And the first thing you need to do is read your basic experience logbook properly. It has all the guidance required by the Civil Aviation Authority of that member state. So these are some of the general guidelines for you to follow when writing a logbook. The most important thing is you read the first few pages of the logbook. Now write clearly and avoid slang. Please make it simple as possible. For example, if you remove a wing from the aircraft, you can say right hand wing removed as per aircraft maintenance manual. One other common obvious mistake that we all do is wait until the last minute. No, do the job, fill in your logbook and get it signed. Because when you keep it till the last minute, you might forget some of the juicy tasks you did, and some of the tasks that you always wanted to write, now you're copying from someone else or getting a printed script from the planning department on all the tasks you did. Now that's why once you complete the task, take that evening, write that task, get it signed on the next day. So get it signed by the right person. That is also so obvious, but still I have to mention it. You can't sign your own logbook. It needs to be a supervisor, assessor, or a licensed aircraft maintenance engineer. So what must be included in a logbook? Now each and every logbook has few common things mentioned there. Okay, number one is date. Make sure you read the first few pages of the logbook just to see what date format would they like. Usually it's DD, MM, YYYY. And the next important thing is aircraft and engine type, and also the registration. Now the aircraft and the engine type you can get from your aircraft document sets, such as aircraft maintenance manual, and also the engine type you can either ask your engineer, or you should know what engine you're working on. So those two are a must. And the next thing is write down the aircraft registration. How do you actually find the aircraft registration? Usually it is at the tail section of the aircraft on the side. Now this aircraft is EI, or Echo India Hotel Golf Tango. Okay, so it's easy to find. Now the next bit is the most important thing, task detail. What have you completed? Now please be simple as possible in a way that anybody reading your logbook can understand with clear handwriting. It can be a short factual description of what you did. For example, main wheel replaced in accordance with aircraft maintenance manual 32-12- you got that whole number in the task card or the AMM you actually perform the task with. For example, if you're working on a base maintenance environment, an aircraft is a project, so it comes with a job number. Okay, within that job number you have different task packages. Okay, so you have different task cards. So there are two major references you have to mention. Now if you look at the UKCAA or Transport Malta's logbook, it clearly asks you to write the task number. Now this is where you write the job number, which is this project We got an A320 aircraft to do a C check. The job number is job 123, but within that job number there are different task packages or task cards. So you have to mention both of them as well as your aircraft maintenance manual reference. Before we move further, can I have 30 seconds of your valuable time? 91% of you who watch my video haven't subscribed to this channel. Now it might be something that I need to improve on, something I need to work on. Please do share them in the comment section so I can use those feedback to improve this channel and bring you more quality videos. And if you really do appreciate these videos, please do subscribe to my channel and help me move forward. Thank you very much. Now some logbooks also ask for the category. Now, what are categories? Categories are divided into 4 main sections here. Category A license, category B1, B2 and category C. So if you take Irish Aviation Authority's logbook, they specifically ask for what category you are applying for. So this is where you need to write if you are applying for your Cat A license, which is the license that gives you the privilege to sign off minor maintenance tasks in a line station. That is your A. Category B1 is you are a base maintenance technician looking to become a base engineer. Now B1 is divided into 4 main categories. B1.1 fixed wing aircraft fitted with gas turbine engines. B1.2 fixed wing aircraft fitted with piston engines. B1.3 helicopters fitted with gas turbine. B1.4 helicopters fitted with piston engine. Okay, so you could write B1 because B1 is mechanical. Now B2 is avionics and electrical systems. Okay, and the third one is category C. Category C is like a good example or a good equivalent is like a project manager, the license holder who signs for the whole aircraft in a base maintenance environment so that aircraft goes out of the hangar. And the next one is the verifier's details. You need to get your engineer to sign in your logbook to verify that you have completed the task. And to make everything official, you need to sign the page of the logbook that you have completed. So these are examples of my logbook entries when I was working in maintenance. Now there are some best practices or tips from me to say. It's the quality, not the quantity. Don't repeat the same task over and over again. There was this one time I emailed the Civil Aviation Authority asking how many repetitive tasks can we write. And they're the ones who told me maximum write 2 or 3 tasks. Do not go over that. And each page should carry your name and signature, which is also important, and be specific. Cite the maintenance data. It can be you have completed tasks by using a component maintenance manual or SRM, AMM. Make sure you write the reference. Avoid abbreviations. If you are writing an abbreviation for the first time, make sure you write the full form and inside bracket write the abbreviations. And after that you can continue with that abbreviations. As a golden rule, minimize abbreviations where possible. Now there are ways of writing tasks depending on your responsibilities as well. Now I'm going to show you a step-by-step process of how to fill in an entry on your logbook. Now before I go there, if you're a working professional, you can write carried out, performed. Words like carried out main landing gear wheel change on left and right as per AMM 32-12, whatever it is. Okay, as a trainee, if you are not allowed to sign a task card as a technician, then what you should use is observed, assisted and participated. I really don't like the word observed because most of the time you end up doing some work. So assisted and participated. Participated in the left hand main landing gear change as per 32 AMM 32 blah 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 blah. So please remember these things. If you're a trainee who does not sign the task card, you can't write carried out, performed. You can only write carried out, performed when you sign the task card. Okay, let's get to the logbook page. Now fill in the task details, date, aircraft, engine type, registration, description, reference, and add ATA chapter, category if required, and work order number. And ask your engineer to verify your work using his or her license number and signature. And for some logbooks, they have the basic skills where you should have completed in your Part 147. A Part 147 is another name for an approved aircraft maintenance training organization. Okay, get your assessor to sign the task you've done, and at the end of that page, write your name, put your signature in there, and mark as complete. This isn't just paperwork. This is your proof of competence, trust, and your readiness to sign off an aircraft. And every entry is an investment for your future career. So get this right, because you are building your career. So don't wait till your assessor rejects your logbook to fix it. If you need any help, you can send me the logbook and I'll be more than happy to have a review. And if you need help writing logbooks, I can work with you for a couple of days just to make sure you get it right. Here you go, now you know. If you need more aviation career strategies like this, I do aviation, I do recruitment, I do school reviews, and also I read the regulations so I can give you up-to-date information to make sure your aviation career in good hands. That's what we do from this YouTube channel. So subscribe to my channel, like this video. If you know any friend who would gain value out of this video, please do share it with them as well. I'll see you with another video next week. Until then, keep fixing.